So once you've recorded the invoices in your crunch accounts and client payments, you would want to record expenses. Or you might be a bit of a rebel and want to do that first. So to do so, if you head over to the Expenses tab, and you want to first add a supplier. Do bear in mind, if you have any subcontractors, you need to record them as expenses in your crunch account. So let's record the subcontractors first. So if you go to Suppliers, or on the right-hand side, select Add New Supplier. And our subcontractor is Mr. T. Durden. Now for the expenses, you don't need to have as much information as your clients. Ideally, all you need is the company name and the expense type. So if you select from the drop-down lists, we know that he's a subcontractor, and say the supplier. Once you've added the supplier, you can then add and allocate expenses for that supplier. In this example, we want to record an invoice received from Mr. T. Durden. He helped us with a project we were on, and the invoice was a total of £400. So if you go to Add New, and from the drop-down box, select Expense, and select Mr. T. Durden. Again, everything's happening today. We just received the invoice today from him. And the supplier reference, completely optional field. So Tyler and myself, we have a good relationship going on. I know it's for a project we worked on, and the project was Eden. So if you notice that automatically the expense type has been selected as subcontractor costs. VAT, Tyler is not VAT registered, so we're going to put that to 0. And in the description for the expense, we can put Eden project. And he helped us with the joists. And the amount was for £400, the gross amount. The next section is the payment details. So when did you pay your supplier? So the first section is when you received the invoice from your subcontractors. The second section is when you paid them. Now, normally I like to pay my subcontractors on the day. So when they send an invoice to me, I like to pay them straight away. So I put it for today's date. The payment method, I paid it directly out of my business account. I'll select the normal bank I use. And however, because he is a subcontractor, and I'm CIS registered and so is Mr. Durden, I only pay him 80% of his gross invoice. So we need to account for this in the crunch account. So what was actually paid out my business account was £320, because that other 20% I'll need to file to HMRC each month. So once you've added the payment details, you want to add another payment detail. So this is the 20% we're going to be filing to HMRC, the CIS deduction at the end of the month. And record the same date as you paid the expense. It was transferred out of your company account. However, you want to show coming out the CIS dummy account we created earlier on. This is what the CIS dummy account is for. It's just for showing all deductions and any involvement regarding the CIS. And the amount is for the remaining 20%, which in this example is £80. And the next thing to do is just click Save Expense.